What's up, everybody? All right, so today I'm going to go through how we use application routing to keep our calendars as booked as possible all the time. All right, so this is the exact funnel that we used to do 30 million in cash collected last year, 70 million in total cash collected on this funnel. All right, so this channel is just me sharing what we've tried, what we're currently doing, how we're changing things to get to 100 million a year in cash collected, and just documenting it along the way. All right, so let's get into it. So this application is actually V2. So this is the 13th question here. But so for the first application we did like 250,000 to 300,000 applications through, and it had free form, no financial qualifier, and clearly it worked. But this one is just a cleaner one that has a higher completion rate, and also we introduced a financial qualifier. So this is just what we're doing now, but clearly the other worked as well. So for this is, and I was just laughing when I read this, like there's no punctuation things, like goes to show, don't have to be perfect. But on my journey to get healthy, fit, and toned, I've already invested. And the framing of this is obviously to show what they already have invested, not some like make money online, right? We're in women's fitness, so 40 to 60. So we're not asking like how much money they have to invest in themselves, like all of that. It just, the framing's weird. So for this, it's how much have they already invested in themselves. Now, based on the data of what we've collected so far, quick numbers on this is about half the conversion rate of these. Okay, so call this 5%, like app to close, or technically booking close through app, but these are like 10. All right, and this is 5. Just quick, we're just gonna use those numbers. So saying that, now what do you want to do with these less than 1Ks? They still close, but way less. So the goal is to get as many of these as possible. Now, what are we gonna do with that? So we have conditional formatting on the back, and there are people who do this like crazy, lead scoring, and goes across all the different questions, and if they're in these buckets, push them to these pockets. Like, this is just what we do very simply in 2 directions, and then I'm going to show you how we like ninja automate it so it just keeps calendars booked no matter what. But for us, what we have on the back end is the conditional routing. So right now, because we have so many bookings and like so many quality bookings directly coming through, we actually, sorry, that's bright. We have it set fully to DQ. So a DQ full page for us is this. It's basically like, hey, Mandy, which is our AI, is going to reach out to you with a couple more questions. But in the meantime, buy this low ticket. Okay? So just trying to push them into here. And this cleans up sales like all day, every day. So just this ugly page, we're completely rebuilding this. And this is what? March 2025. So this is going to go live in like another week. We're going to completely rebuild this. But they will get DQ'd fully if this is toggled. Okay? The other option is to just run them through to a DQ booking page that's identical to the other booking page with a booking, except this booking widget is going to be a completely different one. So we don't have setters. We now do, and we're like rolling that out this week, but this whole time we haven't. So what we technically have is on the back end, we have 2 Calendlys. You have the master that has the high quality bookings getting to it basically only, and then you have this, which is the DQ one. So we'll do routing or availability priorities for the sales reps based on that. So like your top one will have all of your top closers in it, and then in order, and then it'll have the bottom one, which is the DQ one, all of your like second, and then down to your worst closers in current state or new onboarding, for example. So that's how we currently run it when we have this on. Right now, we have so many bookings that are coming in as quality because marketing is crushing it that we have this fully off. Now, where this all came from, what I'm about to show you, is when you have like just enough, or you're scaling your sales team but like not enough, and you're kind of in that like waffling in between phase where you can't fully book out with only your quality bookings. All right, so quick math on this. Let's say you have 200 applications coming through a day, and based on your data over the last week, you know that on average 50 of those bookings are quality, are the 1K plus people, and use whatever your example is for yours. Of those 100 then that are coming through, it's 50-50, okay? 100 of them are quality, 55% app to booking rate, so you only get 55 bookings a day. But you need to fill 100 for your calendar to be full, for example. How are you going to let these ones through from the bottom barrel just enough to fill the calendars? Because sales rep thrive on back-to-back, right? Because you're going to have no shows, you're going to have all that. You have enough of those strung in a row, you get strung up in a row, you get like completely out of flow, and the sales percentage, overall sales per booking goes down. Like, it's best to be busy, even if it's a little bit lower quality. And again, we're trying everything to make it so and everyone is as quality. And again, the 1% still close, or the less than 1K still close, just at a lower percentage. All right. So how we built this out is this right here. So essentially, if this field, hidden field that we're just calling spots, is less than 61, okay, route them to the next steps. Okay. So if it's less than 61, route them there, and it's equal to this. If it's above 60, so right, it kind of just, I think it's whatever. It's just because it wouldn't be greater than or equal to 60, then and equal to this, then route them to the DQ page. So you fundamentally think what that is saying. It's saying if the spots, that's this hidden field that's buried in this application, spots right here, right now it's 53. So if it says it's 53, that means it's going to route them all to DQ because it's less than. If it was over 53, or if it was over 60, it would open them up to the DQ booking page. Okay? So difference there. Why we do this and how we do this. So back to this, I made another video on this on how to have a spot tracker. So this is how many open spots are on your sales team calendar, like into the future. So today being the 23rd, all right, this one's not live now, but as an example. So 85 open spots are for today and 116 are for tomorrow. Not good, because let's say you have 100 or you only have like 50 bookings on day. It's like you still have a massive amount of calls to fill. So you want that toggle to have as many as possible. But then when you start to get full and you're at 100 over here, you only want to let the ones squeeze through that are quality, because you're trying to fill it with as much quality and you almost want the DQ ones to just backfill it, okay? Or just basically get it to get the water up to the line of where, yes, you know you're going to be able to fill with quality now only, is kind of more of the methodology. So how I have this set up, inside the job form, we're going to have a hidden field that's here that is just going to be called spots. And the reason we do that is because when the form does this conditional logic, you want it to be able to route based on something that occurred in the application. So people do this with UTMs all the time. You can easily do this, like I shared right here, with normal routing, just directly. It's like, if it's this, it's this. If it's this, it's this. But I needed dynamically changing based on how much open spot availability we had. All right, so what I did is if we have every hour, it's going to take today's date, reformat that date, and then it's going to look up tomorrow's amount of open spots. And based on this or this, it's going to then set that predefined value inside the job form. So it's going to go in, it's going to push in, it's going to edit the form itself and change the default value of this. The default value to 53. All right? To right now, it would set it to 116. Okay, so it's going to find tomorrow's amount, and if it's whatever number, it's going to push it in there, and then you can choose based on where your throttle is, based on what you know. Okay, so it might be a little confusing, but let me try and rephrase it. So if tomorrow has 50 spots available, that means that it's currently 8 p.m., so it only has 50 spots available tomorrow. We know, based on our numbers, that we're going to be able to get that many bookings by then. Okay, so we know that we're going to be able to get 50 bookings to fill in of quality, right? So we're going to toggle it off. Now, if we have 116, like it was, that's like, oh man, that's too many bookings. We're not going to be able to fill people's calendars. They're going to have open spots. They're going to have no-shows. They're going to fit between. People are going to have 2 hours in the middle of the day where they have nothing to do as a sales rep. So what we're going to do is we're going to let all of them through. We're going to let all the DQ ones and all the main ones run, and it's going to continue to run until we have enough bookings. Then it's going to toggle itself automatically instead of having a VA or you or someone in there actively managing it to change that. So like right now we use 60 because we can generate so many. For a while we had it at 40, so only when there was 40 available, so we would have more DQ bookings on the calendar until it trained. Now, level 2 of this, and I can't show these because you have like API keys and stuff in them, but just as every hour, find the date, find tomorrow's date, look it up in that sheet, find the open spot number, and push the open spot number as a default value into this, so that that number is live updating every hour and submitted with every jot, and then when it finally hits the threshold and it's submitted, it'll route it, okay? So people do crazy lead scoring that we don't do. That's like, if they answer this one and this one and this one, we passed our stuff off to a data scientist on like 250,000 applications and all like 15,000 customers and all this stuff, and they found like nothing. Then for us, it was like, if they're obese already, and again, women's fitness 40-60, if they're already obese and if they tried macronutrients, which is like part of our methodology, and they tried macronutrients in the past and they didn't work for them, if either of those two, it was like lower. But again, that was on the old app. This is before GPT, because now we fed it in. Our new CMO, who's a rock star, shout out new CMO, he fed all this information in and found like a bunch of pockets of stuff that are really cool that the data scientists that we paid dumb amount of money didn't do or didn't find. So we may be tweaking this, but this is just kind of like the technical part of the routing. The other piece of this that's super important is the DQ page. This for the booking right now still goes to our closers. Okay, it just goes to the lower bucket of closers. Very easily, you can just swap this out and go to your setters, which is the next plan for us after we get to the point of using the setters on the other lanes that are coming through and missing opportunity. So this will go through setters, and a couple other places will. But where I want to go is the big piece of this page is it does not fire anything on Facebook. Okay? So it does not fire the pixels, Google or Facebook, or Meta, more so. All right? And why that's huge is because for us, you're going to have the lead event, you're going to have the submit application, the schedule, and the purchase. All native events, all right? And this is 6 months old or so for us because we use custom conversions and all that stuff for a while. The DQs, the 1K sub, even if you're letting them through, do not fire the pixel on server or browser. So it's not on page, and it doesn't do that. And then because it's another widget, so whether you're using Hyros or UTN or like any of these, you can just set it. So these bookings do not count towards a pixel. All right? So if you have 200 applications that come, we don't even fire on application because this would be a submit app technically. So you're going to have every lead firing, call it 1,000 leads. You're going to get 200 applications. It'd be higher, but you know what I mean. 200 applications. Half of those, let's call them DQ, are going to land on this page now. The other 100 are quality bookings and are going to land on the actual quality booking page that has the better closers on it. Those are going to fire submit applications. The DQ ones are not. Then the bookings that come through the main are going to fire schedules. The DQ ones are not. All right, so we're only feeding back to Facebook the ones that are double the conversion rate. Okay, and that is just the goal of that. And we haven't like fully shaken it out yet, but the goal of that is to make the submit app, the schedule, as well as obviously the purchase, because the purchase is the highest, but it's such a long cycle that we're trying to optimize earlier in the funnel, and this is how we're trying to do it. So that's the gist on like the routing. Again, we've had crazy looks at this and different models and stuff built out on the application data, and this is what we're using so far. We may go back and I'll update you on that on how we do, and same thing with the setters. Setters are going to squeeze this and make it like super helpful, but this is just how we do automatic routing to make sure the calendars are always full by keeping it dynamic so that you can allow bookings but maybe to a lower quality bucket, or you can allow bookings but you don't cook the pixel on the bad people or on the lower quality people. And yeah, so comment below what you want me to talk about, because I have 1,000,001 things on a sheet that I can just riff on like this like any day. But yeah, something that'll be valuable to you guys. And then yeah, chat on Instagram and subscribe, comment on here so I can get some more ideas. And I'll talk to you guys soon.